My bad, guys that are online. I didn't know I was still on mute. Now, what I'm fixing to go over, guys, are the building blocks of language. This is usually first week of school type of stuff, but since we haven't had a chance to do it, we're going to do it now. Parts of speech. Every word inside of the English language fits into one of 8 parts of speech. So if you talk a lot, you use probably 10,000 words a day. All 10,000 of them can go into one part of speech, one of 8 parts of speech. Now, we're going to do a review over these 8 parts of speech. Okay? Real easy stuff, right? I'm going to try to make it easier as far as like subject verb agreement, pronoun antecedent agreement, some of the grammar stuff that we're doing. If you remember little tricks, it'll help out, okay? Give me a definition of a noun. Person, place. Thing. Or
something.
Idea. Person, place, thing, or idea.
What about a plate?
Now, the person, place, or things, these are things that I do not have an issue with. These are the easy ones. These are the what we call concrete nouns, what I can put my hands on. And I talked about this on the WebEx one day. Okay? It's the idea nouns that give us the most trouble as far as recognizing them as nouns. Okay? They're qualities. They're concepts. Okay? In fact, the word quality and the word concept are both nouns. Now, here's the trick that I always tell my students. If I can put the word the in front of it, it is a noun. The quality that I possess, the concept that I am teaching, the thought that I am having, the action that I am taking. If I can put the word the in front of it, it is a noun. Okay? Any questions on this? Person, place, thing, or idea. That's my definition. If I can put the word the in front of it, it is a noun. Now, please understand when I say if I can put the word the in front of it, if I have the pretty girl, what is the actually talking about? The girl, not the pretty. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay? If I can put the in front of it, it is a noun. Any questions on this? Okay. Moving on, because I'm going to move to things I need to know a little bit more than this. Verb. Action or state of being. Now again, the action words are not the words that y'all have problems with. Run, walk, talk, smile, laugh, jump, sing. Those are the easy ones, right? It's the state of being words that I need you to recognize. And they're actually the verbs that we use more often. And we talked about 3 a week or so ago when we did subject verb agreement. Okay? The 3 that we're going to talk about is to be, and I'm giving them with the to in front of it because that's their infinitive form. Just bear with me. To have and to do. Okay? I do not say I be, I say I don't say I be hungry, I say I get out. Now. I don't say I be hungry, I say I am hungry. I don't say you be hungry, I say you
Are.
I don't say he be hungry, he is hungry. Yesterday I was. Yesterday you were. By the way, the most common verb in the English language is the verb to be. We use this verb more than we use any other verb. Think about how many times a day you hear the words am, is, are, was, or were. Okay? And this is just first person, second person, third person, singular, present, and past. Okay? So you've got been, being, different words as well. But this is the gist of them. Okay? In the same way right here, I don't say yesterday I don't know what I'm doing. I have a lunch. He has a lunch. And yesterday he had a lunch. So there's three more very common verbs. Okay? Same thing over here. I do something. She does something. And yesterday I did something. Okay? Now, you realize that most of the time when you read, you're not actually sounding out most of the words. You're doing what we call sight words. You're just recognizing them by sight and recalling them, right? To a small degree, and I know memorization is not something that we pride ourselves on anymore in education, but this is still something I want to be sight words for you. When you see the words am, are, is, was, were, have, had, has, do, did, does, I want you to automatically recognize them as verbs. Automatically. No questions asked. It's a verb. Any questions on this? Okay. The last one that we went over earlier is a pronoun. Here's the example that I used. Mr. Booth is glad that Mr. Booth doesn't have to say Mr. Booth every time that Mr. Booth is talking about Mr. Booth. Mr. Booth gets to call Mr. Booth I, me, my. If Mr. Booth is talking about Mr. Booth plus other people, Mr. Booth gets to say we, us, our. Okay? You have personal pronouns. In fact, you just saw a couple of them. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Now, there's different forms of personal pronouns. You can have reflective, you can have objective, you can have nominative. Us, his, hers, her, him. It's all basically the same words, right? Any questions on the personal pronouns? We've also went over indefinite pronouns. One body thing. Each, much, either, neither, another, someone, somebody, something, so forth and so on, right? Any reason to go over pronouns? Any problem? But last thing I want to tell you about pronouns is, for whatever reason, where I'm seeing a trend from my students in the last couple of years, that kids are mixing up pronouns and adjectives. A pronoun does not describe anything. It takes the place of. Okay? Mr. Booth gets to say I instead of Mr. Booth. Okay? Make sense to everybody? Okay. Let's see. See if I can do it.
I'm gonna make that look like it's an hour.
Shut up. Tell me the most common word in the English language.
What?
Tell me the most common word in the English
Wait, you
language.
just said it.
I said it 2 or 3 times. No, that's the most common verb. Give me the most common word in the
Hey.
English language.
Hey.
A is actually, I think, number 2.
No, hey. Hour. The. One thing.
Spell it.
EAT. See, no, I'm him. I'm him. Yeah, hey, buddy. I said it.
Weston.
I said,
Weston.
I already got $3. Not the flex.
I told you every word inside of the English language is one of the 8 parts of speech, right? The most common word in the English language is the word the. Y'all see, I just used it 4 times, right? What part of speech is the?
Noun. The noun.
Adjective. Yeah, adjective. How do you do this?
Describes nouns or pronouns. That's the definition of an adjective. It describes nouns or pronouns. Now, adjectives answer one of 3 questions. They answer what kind, how many, or which ones. Now, there are 3 specific adjectives that I want you to know. They are called articles. There are only 3 articles. The, a, and, A-N, not A-N-D. The, a, and. These are called the 3 articles. Articles are adjectives. Now, let's make sure we're understanding adjectives at its base level real quick. The blank girl. What kind of girl, Jonathan? Pretty. Good. Weston, the blank girl.
Blank girl. I don't know.
Macy, the blank girl. Beautiful girl. Good. Michael, the blank girl.
Ugly girl.
Ugly. Good. The blank girl, Jaden. Weird. Good. Nice. Good. Smart. Good. Fancy girl. Good. The blank girl.
Blind.
Nice girl. The blank girl. Country girl. Excited girl. Good. Now, if it's describing the girl, it's an adjective. A, an, or the. You need to recognize these articles. I want them to be sight words. I want you to recognize every time you see the word the that it is an adjective. You remember earlier I said if I can put the in front of it, it's a noun? Well, there's a reason for it because adjectives describe nouns. The describes whatever it's in there for. Questions? Okay. What time do we get out of this classroom?
Yeah. Oh, we get out at 12:10.
Adverb.
30.
Where an adjective describes a noun or a pronoun, an adverb describes verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Now, a couple of sight words that I want you to recognize for adverbs. In other words, very common words that I want you to know that they are adverbs. The word not is always an adverb. The word very is always an adverb. Normally, not always, but normally, if a word ends with ly, it is an adverb. The girl ran. How did the girl run?
Slowly.
Slowly. Fastly.
Quickly, excited.
Quickly.
Outside.
Excitedly. The excited girl ran excitedly. Now, let me give you this sentence one more time, okay? Listen to it. The excited girl, what type of girl?
Excited.
So excited right there is an adjective, right? The excited girl ran excitedly. So how did she run? Excitedly. You put that ly on it, it's not describing the girl anymore, it's describing how she ran. Okay? Most of the time, you can turn an adjective into an adverb by just simply adding an ly to it. Okay? Most of the time, you can turn an adjective to an adverb by putting ly. Now, can anybody think of a word that ends in ly that is not normally an adverb? Michael, what type of girl? Ugly. So the reason I bring this back up is just because it ends in ly, don't just 100% say adverb. Ask yourself, what is it describing? Now, where adjectives describe which, how many, or which ones are, always get those confused. What kind, how many, or which ones? Adverbs answer 4 questions. When, where, how, and to what extent. By the way, today, tomorrow, both adverbs. Yesterday, adverb. The girl ran yesterday. When did she run?
Yesterday.
The word there is an adverb. The girl ran there. Where? The girl ran excitedly, awkwardly, quickly, slowly. How? Questions? Everybody got a copy done? Good. Conjunctions. Anybody know what a conjunction is?
And or.
But what's the definition for the word conjunction? Jose, you are on the money, my man. But what's the word? What's the definition for it? A word that connects, not necessarily two sentences, because if I have a compound subject, the boy and the girl, that's not two sentences, right? A word that connects two parts of the sentence. Now, Jose, that may sound like it's splitting hairs, but I want you to make sure you have the right definition. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, sentences have feelings too. All right. Y'all ever seen this word before, fanboys?
Yeah. Or and nor. But. Or your. Almost. See, I was close. So.
Good job.
I was not close.
I was in college. When I was in college, for my undergrad, I had to take a drama class, which was action, right? And we used to do it because we weren't like really putting on plays. We were just doing some weird stuff, I guess.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved drama. I took drama back in high school. I've been in plays before. I loved it, sincerely. But we had to act one day, and the only words that we could say were the fanboys. For and nor, but or yet so. For and nor, but or yet so. And the purpose of the exercise that we did was just to not let the words be the emotion, but let the emotion be the emotion using the same words. So for and nor, but or yet so. For and nor, but or yet so. For and nor, but or yet so.
I don't like drama.
That's hard to believe.
I don't like drama. You like attention, not drama.
For and nor, but or yet so. If you do not know backwards and frontwards, the for and nor, but or yet so, you need to know.
So yeah, or but, nor, and what? Oh, we said it backwards.
Hush. Quit hijacking my classroom. For and nor, but or yet so. You need to know the backwards. Okay? For and nor, but or yet so. There's many, many times that you will need to know that between now and your graduation. Okay? Questions there? Time to misspell something for you. Interjections. there's actually two R's there. Not sure. Maybe not. Here's what I do know. Interjections, interruptions. Interjections are basically interruptions. Now, when I have interjections, the vast majority of the time, the interjection is going to be followed by one of two things: an exclamation point or a comma. Interjections are less about the word themselves and more about what the word is doing. That word is interrupting the sentence. It would like me being in the middle of a sentence. Whoa! What are you doing? Okay, that whoa with the exclamation point behind it would be the interrupter. It would be the interjection.
You love doing that.
I love keeping kids on their toes.
Yeah, I think Michael.
Wesson.
Right now.
So, the words yes and no are interjections. A couple of sight words for you. Words yes and no, interjections. The word wow, whoa, how depends on how it's used, can definitely be an interjection. How is usually what we talk about when we talk about onomatopoeia, right? The word is the sound that it makes. Okay? But that's not a part of speech, so that's a different exercise. Okay? Expresses emotions and interrupts. Yeah, that's all I need you to know there. So now I'm left with the very last one. Does anybody know the one that I haven't went over with yet? Preposition. Now, I'm not going to write the actual definition of a preposition up here. Pencils down and eyeballs on me for a second. I do not like the definition of the preposition. The definition of the preposition is a word that joins a noun with another part of the sentence. Jonathan's look just said it all. What? Here's what I want you to know about a preposition. As you've heard me say before in subject verb agreement, it is the vampire of the English language. It sucks the life out of it. Now, here's what I mean. Here's what I always want you to know about a preposition. A preposition always begins a prepositional phrase a prep phrase, prepositional phrase, PP, always ends with an object. An object is either a noun or a pronoun. Now, I've told you my big four, right? In, of, at, and to. A prepositional vampire, in, of, at, to. But here's the deal. That's only just the beginning. Normally, the first week of school, I make my kids take out a sheet of paper that they plan on keeping. Bring out the color pencils and the markers. That way you can decorate it any way that you want to. And they write these words in, of, that, to, in any way, shape, form, or fashion on that paper they want to. And every time we come across a preposition, we add it to that paper. And that way, over the course of the year, they have one sheet of paper that has as many prepositions as what we have. It's a neat little trick. if we started on the first day of the year, that everybody was here with. I don't know if it's gonna work this year. But here's what I will tell you. Everybody got this copy down? I'm trying to keep everything on the screen for folks at home.
Right after his.
Either. I'd help if I put the R on it today.
Can I throw something away?
In a minute. Bear with me just a second, okay? I do appreciate you asking me that. All right, I'm fixing to erase this.
Hold on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it from somebody else. Okay. Now, can y'all tell what this is? It's a log, right? Here's what another way that I remember my prepositions, where I can tell something's preposition. Think about the squirrel in the log. The squirrel run in the log. The squirrel ran at the log. The squirrel ran to the log. The squirrel jumped on the log. The squirrel jumped over
Inside.
the log. The squirrel went inside the log. The squirrel dove under the log.
Around the wall.
The squirrel jumped off of the log, around the log, beneath the log, through the log. All of these are prepositions. Okay? There's a lot more prepositions than these. Okay? But this is kind of how, when I was a kid, this is what we were taught was the law. Okay? The squirrel jumped, the squirrel ran, the squirrel dug, whatever. Give me the squirrel, give me a verb, and then tell me what the squirrel's relationship to the log was. Okay?
Shut up.
Okay. All right, y'all still with me, those of y'all who are on the computer?